Thank you, Michael. Welcome to everyone, and congratulations to all of the awardees this morning. I read the bios and the accomplishments, truly an impressive list of individuals. Some of you I know already, some of you I have met this morning. I hope to say hello to a few more before I leave. But I'm delighted to be here, and this is a very special event. I love all of the alumni events, but I especially love this one. And I also love a commencement with the 50th anniversary class. That's truly special as well. Some of you have probably already participated in that. But it is a way for me, and I know for our staff, to be reconnected to the legacy, the history of Brooklyn College and all that you embody and represent, and to give us inspiration for the students of today, because I know that your stories are in fact very, very inspirational, and you have already inspired other alumni to sing your praises. So again, congratulations to each and every one of you. I thought you might like to know a little bit about Brooklyn College today, and so I have a few things to tell you, but I'll try not to bore you. This fall class is a class of 17,400 students plus. That is the largest class. Last year I said this, but now this year's class is even larger than last year. This is the largest class in a long, long time. Now, some of our alums, of course, were here in the late 70s with open admission, and yes, Brooklyn College was even larger. But from my point of view, it was too large. The campus could not really accommodate all of those students, and so many of them had to take courses at night, and it was, you know, oversized would be a kind way of putting it. I think we are at a good size, 17,000. Sometimes people say, well, how big do you think Brooklyn College could get? And I always say, you know, under 20. Because I really don't think that the campus, even as we branch out, and I will tell you a little bit about that, we are branching out, there's a point at which, without building a significant number of additional buildings, you really can't sustain it. And of course, our land mass is limited. However, there are some very exciting things happening. So in addition to the 17,400 students, I can tell you that the average SAT for students who are applying to Brooklyn College has gone up yet again to 1,176, I believe, which is quite a respectable average for SATs. Their grade point averages for those who are applying to Brooklyn College has also gone up yet again this year to 89, which is a very 89 something, which is very respectable. And in addition, one statistic that I was very pleased to see is that the number of students, you know, students can apply to a number of CUNY campuses, but when they do, they have to list their order of preference in the City University of New York to the senior colleges. The number of students who are listing Brooklyn College as their top choice rose this year over last year by 11%. That is a huge jump. So when the chair of the search committee on Friday to look for a new president next year, I'll tell you about that later, asked me on Friday, he said, now Karen, is the Brooklyn Renaissance the reason that Brooklyn College is getting better and better? I looked at him and said, excuse me, but I think you have that question backwards. I said, I think the question should be formulated, is the borough of Brooklyn becoming more exciting because Brooklyn College, which is of course the center of intellectual and academic excellence in Brooklyn, is getting better and better? And he laughed. And he laughed and said, okay, point taken. But in fact, what we are witnessing here, and if you live near here, you know this, but if you're coming from far away like Colorado over here, you might not know this. Brooklyn, the borough of Brooklyn, and your beloved Brooklyn College have both been experiencing a remarkable renaissance over the last 5 to 8 years, I would say. I came in 2009, so this is year 7 for me, and I can tell you I have been feeling the vibrations, Jeffrey knows this, every year, the intensity. Around Midwood, I mean, as you know, if you know anything about Midwood, this area, it's changing. Ditmas Park is changing. Cortelyou, the whole area south of Prospect Park is changing. Brooklyn is a hip, cool, interesting place, right? Absolutely, it is, and it will continue to be so. That doesn't mean it doesn't have its problems. One of them is pricing a lot of young people out of the housing market, but it is a great place to be, and more people want to come here. And I even have French friends who now want to come to Brooklyn. They don't want to go to Manhattan and visit, they want to come to Brooklyn. But it's also true that Brooklyn College star is rising again. And that is a really wonderful thing. We are witnessing a renaissance in so many ways. If you parked slightly south of this building or walked from the subway station or had the car drop you off, you may have seen a building under construction. How many people saw? No? You didn't see the cement? Okay. Well, Gershwin Hall. Do some of you remember Gershwin Hall? Some of you, it was before your time. I mean, it was after your time, sorry. Gershwin Hall was a wonderful theater, performing arts venue. However, it was getting very old and really could not be saved. So we saved the proscenium, the theater, the stage of the old hall is there, but we now are building a new building. Will be called the Leonard and Claire Tao Performing Arts Center. It is going to be beautiful. There'll be a lot of glass. It will have a completely different feel to it. No longer a brick building that closes the community off. Now lots of glass open to Campus Road and the community to invite people in. It will house a wonderful theater, and it will also house rehearsal and study space for theater, music, and dance. It will truly be a state-of-the-art, and also, did I say music? Yes, I did. It will be sound-wise a state-of-the-art facility with tremendous acoustics, and that will be wonderful for our students in music, also for the faculty we have, and will continue to attract and retain. It will be combined with Whitman Hall, and that theater is undergoing external renovations that will begin once the Tao Theater is concluded. It already has been renovated inside, and the Whitman Theater is truly beautiful inside. So we will have two major theaters, one very large and one smaller, much more intimate. That's an exciting project. I wish I could show you, I didn't bring the visuals today, but we also have embarked and are ready to have a special ribbon cutting in about a week and a half at the Navy Yards. How many of you have ever heard of Steiner Studios at the Navy Yards? Yes. Well, guess what? Brooklyn College now has a very significant footprint, and that is in the very first building when you enter Steiner Studios on the right, 25 Washington Avenue. We now have nearly 2 full floors on the upper floors, the 6th floor and the 5th floor, where we are leasing space and have completely renovated and constructed a new graduate school of cinema named after one of our wonderful alums, Barry Fierstein, who has contributed, hopefully, to this project, along with other alumni. And equally important, but in terms of money, even more important, the state of New York through the state senate, the city council multiple times, the borough president, and the mayor's office of media and entertainment. We have raised over $31 million for this project, which includes $2 million for student scholarships to ensure that the students who want to be in the Graduate School of Cinema may attend even if they can't afford it, with the direct goal of creating a more diverse and highly talented pipeline for the entertainment industry right here in New York City. Yes. You're right, that deserves an applause. And the fact of the matter is the entertainment industry in New York City is worth over $7 billion. And growing. So we all know, in fact, those of us who live in Brooklyn know because they're filming almost every other day on our streets and giving us parking headaches. This is very exciting. The new class of students is already there. There are 69 of them, and we are beginning to recruit for year 2. In 4 years, we will have over 300 students studying in 7 different streams of film production, including directing, producing, production and post-production, digital technology in cinema, sonic arts through the Conservatory of Music. So even in the sonic area, we will have really exciting things going on, not to mention screenwriting. So we expect that some of these students will be creating very exciting films for all of us to watch, whether it's on HBO or elsewhere, very soon. And we look forward to that happening. Another exciting initiative is right here on campus, and that is our School of Business, which has been growing in terms of full-time faculty over the last 5 years. We have a dean of the School of Business who has been helping us position the School of Business to become accredited, and there are only a couple of hundred schools of business in the country that are accredited. Why? So that our students can have better opportunities to land successful employment throughout the state of New York, and especially in New York City where it's very competitive. There are 5 accredited business schools on Manhattan. There are no accredited business schools in Brooklyn. We are bigger than Manhattan. We deserve to have one. And so we will have the first, and probably only, public accredited business school in Brooklyn. And I hope 5 to 10 years from now, we've got a location in downtown Brooklyn as well to offer some of those graduate programs to the people in downtown Brooklyn. I know they are eager to see them. One of the things that will be a note of celebration regarding the School of Business is that on October 15th, we will be celebrating the naming of our School of Business after another wonderful alum, Murray Koppelman, who has given us nearly $13 million, and then his friends have contributed another $2 million for a total of $15 million to name the School of Business. I agree. Let's applaud Murray. He is a remarkable fellow, and he's so humble. He kind of reminds me of the Pope. I hate to say it, completely different worldviews in some ways, but not so separate in others. Murray is a man of the people. And you know, he always prides himself on taking the subway. Andy's over here agreeing with me, I know. He is now 85, right, Andy? He's 85, and he still takes the subway from Manhattan to get to Brooklyn College for events, and likes to talk about the time when he had nothing. And the time when he had nothing is also the time he was at Brooklyn College, working really hard after he was on a kibbutz in Israel, and coming back and struggling and driving. I think he was driving a truck or something like that, Andy. He had jobs, and he said Brooklyn College made everything possible for him later, and he wants to give back. So Murray has given us, you know, a real testament to love for your alma mater, whether it's big or small. In Murray's case, he's fortunate to have a big one. But we appreciate it, and most importantly, he is giving a future to our students in business. You know, we have 5 schools now: business, education, humanities and social sciences, natural and behavioral sciences, which is our biggest school with the most students majoring, and the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and visual, media, and performing arts. Thank you, Andy. We have over 4,500 science majors at Brooklyn College. So, and very, very diverse. In fact, a year ago, we were rated number 18 in the country for African Americans who graduate in biology. So that's worth applause, in my view. What I can tell you is that in every way possible, we are trying, as an important educational leader in this borough and in this city, to make sure that the students who come to study at Brooklyn College are getting the very best instruction, but also the very best support that they possibly can at a price tag that is very affordable. Now I know that some of you, like Grace, have reminded me that in former times, Brooklyn College was free. Well, I know it wasn't ever really free, but it was almost free. Yeah, I know, but you had some fees. They weren't very much. but it was very, very modest. But you all know, if you have children and grandchildren, or your neighbors have children and grandchildren, how much the cost of public education has gone up in various states around the country because the states themselves are supporting less and less. Now that's because the taxpayers don't want to pay more and more. We all understand the conundrum. So today at Brooklyn College and the senior colleges of CUNY, our students are paying for the entire year $6,300. Now, you know, in the great scheme of the 21st century in the United States, in any state, I can tell you, it's a bargain. It's a huge bargain. As a result, there are many things that we can't do that other institutions do much more easily. And so, I will say this, anytime you send $5 or $10 for a student scholarship, I thank you in advance. Because there are things that we cannot do for our students that NYU and Columbia and you know, a lot of others, great schools, can do for their students. So the other thing I want to tell you about is, because I have been asked about this, is the presidential search. Some of you will be reading about it. I announced this summer my intention to retire next summer. And I know a few people have said, why are you doing that, Karen? Well, you know, I turned 67 this past summer. My husband's 5 years older. My 42nd year in higher ed. I started when I was only 25 years old. Our children and my mother, who's turning 90, are in California. My husband's family is all in California. And it's soon going to be time for me to have a little more family time. So that's the real reason. It's not a Speaker Boehner story, although I do understand his reasons too. Those aren't mine. But the difference between Speaker Boehner and me is that he decided overnight, and now they got to scramble. The good news for Brooklyn College is there's no scrambling, because I gave the chancellor a whole year to do this search right. So there is a search committee. They've just been formed. The board, one of the trustees, just visited campus on Friday, and there will be lots of time for individuals to give input, and eventually next March or April, you'll be reading about or hearing about the finalists, and if you're near campus, you'll probably be invited to come attend in the public forum. This will take place in a very serious and businesslike way, and I have absolutely no doubt that we will attract great candidates, because Brooklyn College is a gem. And who wouldn't want to lead this great place? So there will be many applicants, and the job of the search committee and the community will be to wisely screen and make sure that you all get the very best person that can be found. But I am very optimistic that that will in fact happen. So thank you again for letting me say a few words of welcome. I hope if you are not receiving your Brooklyn Alumni Magazine called B Magazine, then I'm not happy. So you tell Michael and or Jeffrey that you're not receiving your B Magazine, because we have lots of news to share with you and lots of great things going. And we also want to have your news that we can include in the alumni section. So Michael, we are so pleased that you are carrying the torch of Marla Schreibman. He has learned from Marla well. And Marla's not here today, is she?
No.
No. And Jeffrey has been a rock, as well as an inspiring leader of the Alumni Association here in Brooklyn. So thank you, Jeffrey. It's been a pleasure to work with Alumni Affairs, and I will look forward to working with you throughout the year. It is a wonderful group of people, and they have wonderful hearts, caring about the students, because actually that's what it's all about. If we don't have the students, we don't need to be here, right? I always remind everybody of that. The faculty are important, but the students are critical. And I can tell you this, in closing, the students of Brooklyn College, if you ever had any concerns about the future, just come here and spend a half an hour with a number of students. Randomly, it doesn't matter, just randomly walk around the quad and say, I'd like to talk to you and learn about your experience here. You will be so infused with idealism and with strength and with dedication, your fears about the future will melt away. And I say that with all sincerity. That really is true. So congratulations again to honorees. Friends and family, thank you for coming and supporting them. And thank you to Alumni Affairs for everything that you do. Thank you.